I know this is gonna sound silly, but for some reason I just feel like playing with that little robot toy of yours.
Really?